Do you know what legacy means?
It's what you pass down to your children and your children's children. It's what remains of you when you're gone.
Welcome back to the Legacy of Westeros, your one-stop shop for all things Westeros. In today's video, we want to share a conversation we had over on our other YouTube channel, Fandom Empire, about the House of the Dragon Season 2 teaser and Season 2 as a whole. Please sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and slash that notification bell to keep up to date with all the future content we have coming. Enjoy. It has been a while. In the time that has passed since we've done anything, we have found out that while the Jon Snow show is very much in development, they're taking not necessarily a step back, but they want to make sure that they're doing it right. And so that's getting some extra polishing and more time's being spent on that. It has not been ordered for a series yet. We know that they're spending some extra time on A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I know their original intent was to have that out for 2025. We'll see if they're able to hit that. And then obviously House of the Dragon Season 2 is done filming and well into the editing stages and eyeing what sounds to be an early summer 2024 release. So maybe it won't be August. Maybe it'll be late June, early July. We'll have to wait and see. But lots going on in Westeros at the moment, including they're looking for a renewal, not just of Season 3, but of Season 4 as well. That's what they would like. That's what they prefer. They've indicated that to WBD. And that tells me that they would like to film Seasons 3 and 4 back to back.
I think you're onto something there, especially with the idea that they're going to be possibly going with fewer episodes moving forward. We've already discussed previously that this is looking to be an 8-episode season, but the episodes are probably going to be a little bit longer. So if they have the opportunity to keep everybody under contract for, let's say, 6 to 8 months instead of 3 to 4 months, just keep filming and keep going with the content that you've been working on, possibly behind the scenes, and just keep pumping out content. I mean, it's not an unheard of precedent. If you take a look at franchises like The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, they filmed all of their things consecutively, and it was able to come out, 2001, 2002, 2003, boom, 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 had 3 really great films. It's entirely possible to film a couple of seasons back to back and work on getting one edited, and then as that one is releasing, you're editing the next season and getting it ready for something several months later. I think it would also indicate to me that Season 2 could end on a pretty high, or Season 3 rather, could end on a pretty high cliffhanger where you need answers in Season 4 and you need it sooner than what traditionally gets released.
Well, we also know that George R.R. Martin just sat down recently with Ryan Condal and other writers involved in the series to begin mapping out Seasons 3 and 4, not just Season 3. So, they're pretty set on wanting to do both at once. And honestly, for a company like WBD, that should probably interest them right now. They've been trying to save a lot of money any way they can. They're getting ready to put a bunch of it into rights deals for various things. So, to me, I know some people might not get this, and we'll get to the exciting stuff in a second, but if you're filming back to back, there are savings in that. I know some people might not think so, but there's a difference between putting all your resources into one can and knocking it all out at once, and putting them into one can and then coming back 2 years later and doing the exact same thing. Because most of the time, anyways, in this industry, once you come back 2 years later, things are just going to be more expensive as we go. I hope they get it done. It would make a lot of sense before they move on to telling new stories in House of the Dragon. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Without further ado, though, was it last week or the week before? Zach, you would know. You were at the airport. So how long ago did the House of the Dragon Season 2 teaser come out?
2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. And it doesn't feel like 2 weeks ago because the excitement level has just kind of stayed very, very steady. I've seen a lot of activity on different social media. I've seen a lot of speculation and talk on some of the different forums that I'm a part of, and it has been ongoing. And I think that's a testament of how excited people are for this second season, and how many answers they still need. It's kind of surprising how many people are invested in this franchise while simultaneously have no idea what to expect next. They haven't read the Wiki of Ice and Fire. They haven't read the book. And so they're sitting there, especially on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, speculating out the wazoo about what's going to happen in this next season. And I'm like, I can kind of tell you. I've got source material I could tell you from, but I'm not going to be that guy. So it's kind of fun to see all of the different discussions while also having a little bit of inside knowledge just from this show, from the source material, and being aware of what kind of exciting things we can look forward to in just a few short months.
We need like a meme of someone or a group of people like yelling at season 1 of House of the Dragon, being like, "You went too far," and then like season 2 is in the background saying, "Hold my beer," because that's the type of social media discourse that's going to be out there once this season hits, knowing a couple of the events that do happen. Ryan, we're going to get ready to watch the teaser here, but your thoughts so far on what you've seen of seen and heard of House of the Dragon season 2?
Yeah, well, I mean, just to touch on the filming of potentially seasons 3 and 4 together, and this is something we actually did touch on the last time we got together, was just how long it's been since season 1 aired to where we are now with season 2 finally approaching. That, at least you have the opportunity, if you film them together, to have a little bit tighter schedule to keep people, I think, ready and antsy just for that for the next set of episodes, because some of the speculation we're seeing on social media is because people are bored. They want more. They're craving it, and it's been such a long wait since season 1 ended, and now we're kind of getting into that period of season 2 is around the corner. People are starting to just throw theories out there because they're excited for more and they want to see it. So it's one of those deals where the more they tease, the more we're going to speculate, the more we're going to kind of go down these rabbit holes and kind of, maybe some people will get it right, but there's a lot of people that, as you said, Zach, don't really know the material, and they're going down the wrong path, and their mind is going to be blown. And that's the part we're all excited about. So I am super excited. This teaser trailer just got my appetite wet, and I'm ready for more.
Did you freeze up, bud, or are you waiting for me to say something?
No, I thought you were going to jump in.
You froze hardcore, and I was like, I really don't want to be talking over him. I really don't. Especially with that kick-ass background you got, man. You have got some of the best background game in the business. I'll tell you, like, I just need like some spiky hair to show up through the door behind you. I'm with you, Ryan, that it's super entertaining. Like, it's almost as entertaining to see the bored people on the internet try to come up with theories as it is to actually know what's on the horizon. Like, if you read the Wiki of Ice and Fire about the Dance of Dragons, it's segmented into different key components of the overarching storyline. And there is one particular element that just took place in the season 1 finale. And then the next segment that gets talked about in the Wiki of Ice and Fire is the thing that we are going to be getting in the first couple of episodes of season 2. And I don't know how spoilery we want to get tonight, Sean, but I am particularly intrigued about the way that they're going to execute that particular scene, if you catch my drift. Pun and wording completely intended.
Well, I don't want to dive into what exactly that scene is, but I will say this. That scene will be a scene that's talked about not just the morning after on social media, but that night, and it's going to be the talk of like the big event. But I also think there's going to be a discourse whether that should have been shown at all or not.
It will be the red wedding of this show.
100%.
Let's say a decade later, right? That key integral moment that I think really made Game of Thrones. is about to occur here, and that is super.
You know
super
what's
exciting.
crazy? Is I think you're right. I think the Red Wedding aired in 2014. It might have been 13. I might be getting confused when Game of Thrones started now.
So I'm looking at the episode lists, and it's showing June of 2013.
June,
So
okay.
but still, think about it. That iconic episode is a decade old. It is a decade old. And here we are 10, 11 years later anticipating something that is going to be on that level. Like, it was really cool seeing a guy get beheaded from behind. Like, I'm not going to lie, that scene was also one of those, oh my god. But to have this kind of anticipation for what's coming with season 2, I think whetting the appetite, wetting your whistle is a good way to describe this teaser, which is literally what it's supposed to do. That is exactly what a teaser is supposed to do, is kind of get you ready for what's to come without giving away too much. And I feel like this teaser that they showed us a couple of weeks ago displays that perfectly.
Oh, with that said, let's take a peek at the teaser. We'll probably have to break it down in 3 parts.
Were made in the hours following King Viserys' death.
The war be fought. Many will die. And the victor will eventually ascend the throne.
There is no war so hateful to the gods. There's a war between kin.
Anybody see anything that stands out so far?
Oh, there's so much in that, man. There's so much in that.
We can go back to a frame if there's something specific.
About a war between kin. Like, some of it is just the phrasing. The idea that the gods hate a war between kin, and yet that is exactly what we are walking towards. It puts a religious spin on it that I really don't feel like was a part of the Game of Thrones in the previous show. There were some that worshiped the old gods. There were some that worshiped the new. You had the religious zealots in the middle of the show that kind of made things difficult on King's Landing. But it wasn't so much like, oh, the gods are blessing these people and they're cursing these people, and they hate the way that Robb Stark is fighting and they love the way that Tyrion masterminds things. Like, religion was kind of an afterthought in the fight for the throne. And the fact that they're making it a critical, integral component of a war between kin, I think definitely has the potential for a lot more drama than what we've already got.
Ryan, how about you? Anything stand out in the first part of this trailer?
Yeah, and I think Zach just touched on it. It's just the way they very intentionally crafted the words, the phrases, and even just digging into the music behind it, how it had the intention and really just hits you right in the chest, right? Like, yeah, this is building up to something more, massive than anything we've ever really seen before. So, from my perspective, as somebody that doesn't know the source material nearly as well as you guys does, just seeing this trailer, understanding the magnitude behind what they're trying to convey to me is what hits home the most.
Here's the other thing that I would point out about this first portion of the teaser. There are a lot of sequences of like war councils where you're seeing the table at Dragonstone, and you're hearing the conversation between Otto and his daughter, and you know that there's all sorts of scheming and plotting and planning involved. And there's plenty of shots of soldiers as well. There's probably like at least 5 or 6 frames of soldiers lining up or marching into battle. And if there was ever a war where the soldiers, the foot soldiers, are probably the most insignificant part of the battle, it would be the dance of dragons. It's really all about who's got the superior dragon power. It's really about being able to position your dragons in the right part of the continent in order to maintain security of your borders, and then being able to advance and strategically strike everybody else's dragons. Like, foot soldiers are important, yeah, but one breath of the right dragon and those foot soldiers are gone. We saw that in season 7 of Game of Thrones. Like, one dragon took out a very, very powerful foot soldier army. These shots of foot soldiers are meant to get us excited about the war, but I also feel like it's kind of deceptive in the concept that we really don't need foot soldiers in a dragon war.
Right. Listen, the size and the magnitude of these various armies and how they're, it's all about, being able to take ownership, right? Being able to say this is our land, but at the end of the day, they're just conscripts in this fight. That they might be well trained, but they're just nothing. They're puny in the grand scheme of this. And when you really get dragons in it, right, the Battle of Dragons, that's it. That's the crux of the whole story, and that's where the armies just are going to be annihilated. And listen, from a viewer standpoint, I'm going to enjoy the visualization of hundreds of thousands of troops just getting absolutely wiped off the map. But it's really kind of a very small part of the overall overarching point of the war, right? So,
right. I mean, it says the war will be fought, many will die, and the victor will eventually ascend the throne. What's unfortunate about that is the many that die are dying at the hands of a force that really you can't reckon with it. Like, all of these guys that you see right here in this frame as Sean is fast forwarding, they look just like the Lannister army from season 7. You line them up that way, and it's just like gas to a match. You just poof, and they just turn to ash instantly. So I don't think it matters how many tents you've got or how many foot soldiers you've got. This particular type of showing what they've got in the trailer, or in this teaser rather, what they are showing is rather inconsequential. Now, I will say this scene with the beheading is very important, because it's going to be a struggle for mankind to assert their place in this world. If you are not a dragon rider, what kind of power are you able to assert? What type of control are you able to show over your fellow man? Because it's going to be all about the dragons. Everybody's going to be all about the dragons. If you don't have a dragon, what kind of power are you going to be able to express? And I think there's very few greater signs of strength or power than being an executioner, or being somebody that sentences people to their deaths the way Rhaenyra is going to have to be. She's going to have to order soldiers into battle to go to their deaths. And there's a certain moral compass that is going to go astray on both sides of this fight. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we getting a little bit of an ice storm here, so it may happen again. We'll see. Hopefully not. Let's go back and watch the rest of this trailer.
That's such a Canadian statement, by the way. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
We're having ice up here.
What can you do? Our igloos.
There is no war so hateful to the gods. There's a war between kin. And no war so bloody as a war between dragons.
And there you have it, a teaser trailer for House of the Dragon Season 2. I'll let you guys have at your thoughts of the entire teaser, but can I just say kudos to Ryan Condal and the HBO marketing team and WBD, because in a day and age where everybody feels the need to spoil the entire movie in a 3-minute teaser followed by a 3.5-minute trailer, this was essentially less than a minute long. And for those that haven't read the source material, it didn't give anything away and yet got you excited with visuals, with the score, which, by the way, is mostly new. It is tremendous. Like, to me, this is proof you can still sell media without giving the whole thing away in a 3-minute bit.
I think it's also a testament to how popular this franchise is, that there's a lot of franchises that have to do what you just described. They have to give a 3-minute teaser, and then they have to give a 3.5-minute trailer, and then they have to give a 2-minute behind the scenes documentary featurette type of thing with the different actors talking about their character and their role from like an acting chair in costume, all that sort of stuff. Those are the types of things that other franchises have to do in order to get you excited. All you have to say is dragons, and people are going to be watching this show.
Do you know what legacy means?
It's what you pass down to your children and your children's children. It's what remains of you when you're gone.